Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath, Sham Mukund Radha Kundagiri Govardhan ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadip Dham ki jai, Jagannath Puri ki jai, Gangamai ki jai, Jamanumai ki jai, Tulsi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande. Oh, everybody's already seen me. Is anyone new that hasn't been here for the last 2 days? We can jump in. Wouldn't you think? Okay, you want to say something?
So, when I'm reading Krishna book, Gargamuni came to Nanda Maharaj's house to name Krishna and Balram, also do that astrological calculation. That time, Nanda Maharaj saying these things in double quotes, it is there in the Krishna book. My dear Brahmana, your appearance in the householder's place is only to enlighten. We are always engaged in a household duties and are forgetting our real duty of self-realization. Your coming to our house is to give us some enlightenment about spiritual life. You have no other purpose in visiting householders. So, like Maharaj, sannyasis, they are happy where they are. Like they can preach by sitting there, but taking pain and coming all the way to Austin to address this small congregation, it is real our fortunate. With that, we will welcome Maharaj by loudly chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Over to you, Maharaj.
Thank you. Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta, Shamaniti Namane, Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pracharane, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatarane. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're reading from 16th chapter, Bhagavad Gita as it is, the divine and demonic natures, Daivi Sampad and Asuri Sampad. So Krishna, in the verses we read yesterday, was speaking about the Daivi Sampad. Now, Dampho Darpo Bhimanascha, Krodha Parushamevacha, Agyanam Cha Vijatasya Partha Sampadam Asuri. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance, These qualities belong to those of demonic nature, O son of Pritha. Purport: in this verse, the royal road to hell is described. The demonic want to make a show of religion and advancement in spiritual science, although they do not follow the principles. They're always arrogant or proud in possessing some sort of education or so much wealth. They desire to be worshipped by others and demand respectability, although they do not command respect. Over trifles, they become very angry and speak harshly, not gently. They do not know what should be done and what should not be done. They do everything whimsically, according to their own desire, and they do not recognize any authority. These demonic qualities are taken on by them from the beginning of their bodies, in the wombs of their mothers. And so they grow, as they grow, they manifest all these inauspicious qualities. So this is the summary. In the coming verses, the Lord will elaborate on these demonic characteristics. Most of the chapter will deal with the demonic nature. But here's the summary. Dambho dharpo abhimanascha. Dambha means pride, and dharpa, arrogance. The words are similar: dambha, dharpa, pride, arrogance. Abhiman. Abhiman means thinking highly of oneself. Abhiman. Yes, thinking very highly of themselves. Conceited. They think that they're great. And later, the demonic person is depicted as saying, Konyosti sadrisho maya. Who else is there like me? I have so much money. I've got aristocratic relatives. I'm perfect. I'm powerful. I'm happy. Ityagana vimohita. They're bewildered in this way. And so, abhiman. Just pride. In every scripture of the world, it's recognized that pride is our enemy. In the Bible, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. So, these are not sectarian observations. This is universal knowledge that if we want to get, elsewhere we read that among the items of knowledge, the first one is humility. What is that in the 13th chapter, I think? No, not 13. Yeah, maybe. Where was that? Maybe, let's see. But that's 16. Yes, thank you. Amanitvam, adambitvam. Just the opposite. Dambha, and here adambitva. The opposite of pride, the opposite of conceit. If we want to cultivate knowledge, the first item is amanitva. Amanitva means knowing that we're ignorant. when Sanatana Goswami approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sanatana Goswami was a great scholar. He knew Arabic, he knew Parsi, he knew, he was a great minister of the government, scholar, big man. Shesha Mandalapati Shranim. They had so much power. But when he approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kayami, who am I? People surrounding me address me as Pandit, and I'm such a fool that I think that I'm a Pandit, that I'm a learned man. But I'm so learned that I don't know who I am. So you please instruct me. Oh, in this way, he was the eligible person, humble person. The humble person can learn something. The person who's puffed up and proud and conceited can't learn anything. Bruyu snigdhasya shishasya gurave. That was the qualification of Sutta Goswami also, the sages said. That because you're a very submissive disciple, your gurus have given you all the blessings reserved for a gentle disciple. So, amanitva, the beginning of knowledge is humility. But for the demons, dambho, darpo, abhiman, abhiman, conceit. What is that elsewhere? Vimuktamanina. Nye nye ravindaksha vimuktamanina. They think that they're liberated, but they're not liberated. But proud, yes, we're liberated souls. So, dambho, darpo, abhimanascha, and krodha, angry. We see this, that in the modern world, to be angry is like an admirable quality. Even it's a fashion statement. You know, the people who get paid big money for marketing, they'll come up with their models who are like mean. You know, I know what I want and I'm going to get it. And that's why I bought this product. And the rest of you can, you know, drop off the face of the earth because you're all blah, 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 blah. And that's like, yeah, you know, so you get a whole batch of people who think that's really cool and they buy the product. Just to be angry is to be like somebody, yeah. It's like a hero because he's angry. Yesterday we were discussing Trividam Narakasyedam Dwaram Nashanam. Anger is just one of the doors to degradation. When we're angry, we lose control. A person who's angry can't control his mind. He's just Krodhat bhavati sammohat, sammohat smriti vibram. Becomes angry, then he becomes bewildered, loses his memory of who he is, where he is. Then he loses his intelligence, and then he's finished. But in the materialistic world, to be angry is taken now in the demonic, by demonic influence. It's taken to be a great quality. We're angry at everything. It's taken to be great. Even women, you know, if a woman is like a bulldog, she's taken to be a Adarsh Adhunik Nari. Ideal modern woman, angry at the whole world. So that's not very good. Krodha and Paurusham, harshness. And Prabhupada also as far as, to be independently, what's the word? To think that just by my own power I can get on top of everything. How does Prabhupada express it? They do everything whimsically according to their own desire. It's all about me. Out of the way. What about me? So you get everyone who's self-centered, just concerned with himself. He doesn't think that there are any principles that you have to follow. That's just somebody else imposing something on you. I want to be a free spirit. I want to be my own man. I want to do what I want to do. Chalk out my own path. And so they become fools. They're not smart. They don't know where they're going. They're not highly qualified the way they think they are. And so they just become obnoxious. And dangerous. Dangerous to themselves and dangerous to others. Because they're not humble enough to be guided by higher wisdom. So they just become tools of their own anger, their own foolishness, their own conceit, their own harshness. And they become, as one might put it, not very nice people, which is understating the matter. So, dambho, darpo, abhimanascha, krodha, parushamevacha. Again, they're in darkness. They don't know what is to be done, what is not to be done, what's true, what's false, what's religious, what's irreligious, what's spiritual, what's not spiritual, or what's the opposite of spiritual. In the 18th chapter, adharmam dharmam iti ya. You know that dharmam dharmam iti ya manyante tamasavarta. 18th chapter. Dharmam dharmam iti ya manyate tamasavrata sarvartan viparitamscha buddhisa parthatamasi. This is intelligence. The demons can be very intelligent, but intelligence in the mode of ignorance. So in ignorance, adharmam dharma iti ya, one thinks that what is materialistic is actually spiritual, that what's demonic is actually divine, that what's entangling is actually liberating, that what is to be done is what's not to be done, that what's to be not to be done is what we should do. Adharmam iti dharmam adharmam iti ya manyate tamasavrata, because they're avrata, covered by ignorance. Sarvartan viparitamsva. They get everything backwards. It's described that the person in mode of passion is confused. He can't clearly understand what's to be done, what's not to be done. He's confused about these things. What does that say? Yaya dharmam adharmam cha karyam eva cha ayatavat prajanati. He doesn't quite understand. He's cloudy about it. But the person in ignorance isn't cloudy. He gets it backwards. If it's dark, he thinks it's light. If it's white, he thinks it's black. He gets everything in the wrong way. So this is the demonic mentality. If something's destructive, they think it's progressive. If something's ignorant, they think it's advanced. Adharmam dharmam iti ya manyate tamasavrata. Sarvartan viparitam. Viparita means backwards, opposite. Viparitam, buddhi saparta, tamasi. So, this is their mentality. Agyanam chabhijatsas. And from the very beginning they have these qualities because of their previous mentality. From the previous birth they were cultivating ignorance, passion. Now again in this life they're born into low circumstances or apparently high circumstances. Wealthy families, aristocratic families, but demonic. So even in the good family, a demon may appear, or even in a demonic family, you can have Prahlad Maharaj. So we have to see by the quality also. The Indra was ready to kill the child in the womb. Oh, he's the son of Hiranyakashipu. We can't have another Hiranyakashipu. And Narada stopped him. No, he'll be a great Vaishnava. So we can't tell just by guessing or just by seeing the family background. In the family of Maharaj Anga, a great soul, Mena Maharaj appeared, first-class rogue. So we have to see the individual quality. And here the characteristics are described. How can you tell who has Daivi Sampad, who has Asuri Sampad? These so-called incarnations, Asuri Sampad. I'm also God, I'm an avatar, and doing magic tricks and fooling people. Asuri Sampad. Conceited, arrogant, not knowing what is proper conduct, what is improper conduct, bluffing, cheating, and worse. And claiming, I'm God. You're not, what to speak of being God, you're not even godly. The godly persons will never claim to be God. But the demons will claim, I'm also God. Who is that? Paundraka. I'm Vasudev. I'm the Supreme Personality of God. The Yadus, when they heard that, they just laughed. What a fool this man is. So, the demons may impress other demons, but a person who knows what is what, he looks and he sees this man's a rascal. Therefore, Prabhupada called them out. These rascals, fools. Oh, Swamiji is so. No, he's telling it as it is. One time, Prabhupada was explaining to one gentleman the verse Namam Duskrita Namudha Prabhadyante Naradama Maya Pratagana Asura Bhavamashrita. And he explained each word, how they're Duskriti, Mudha, Naradama, and so on. Then Prabhupada said, it's not my saying, it's Krishna's saying. What can I do? So, this is Krishna saying. These are he doesn't say, oh, everybody's very good, everybody's very nice. Everybody is, spiritually. What is that? Pandita Samadarshan. Everyone sees that as spiritual beings, we're all equal. But according to the modes of material nature that we pick up, someone becomes of the divine nature, someone becomes demonic. That's has nothing to do with the soul ultimately, but these are the different natures that one picks up in the material world. Law-abiding and outlaws, as we discussed yesterday. Any questions so far?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for the wonderful class. So I have a slightly different from the class, but so we say that one has to be fortunate enough to get blessing of a devotee to make progress, and at the same time we say that all our karmas determine our path for spirituality as well. All our past karmas determine our way ahead, in this life. All the activities that we are going to do in this life is determined by our past karma.
But you can change. Karmani nirdahati kintuju bhakti bhaja. If someone takes up devotional service, you can get freed from all the past karma. Down to the root, the karma is burned up. One time, here's another Prabhupada story. Giriraj Maharaj was preaching in Bombay, and he went to one gentleman's home to make a life member. And the man, I think, was a palmist. So, to make friends with people, all right, he wants to read my hand, let him read my hand. So the man read Giriraj Maharaj's hand, and he said that, I can see from your hand that you'll leave this Hare Krishna movement. So Giriraj Maharaj was quite unhappy, and when he got back to Juhu, he reported to Prabhupada that, Srila Prabhupada, this man, palmist, this is his prediction. And Prabhupada said, 3 claps before the deities, and all the lines in your hand change. That statement is there in Nectar of Devotion. Is that all right? Daivi sampad vimokshaya nimbantaya surimata. These qualities have consequences. Someone says, I have asuri sampad, that's just the way it is, what's the problem? But Daivi sampad vimokshaya. Those who have the divine qualities can get free from material existence, go back to Godhead. Daivi sampad vimokshaya. But nimbantaya surimata. The demonic qualities will lead to ongoing entanglement in material nature. Yes. There's ongoing entanglement. We think that we're on top of everything. I can do this, I can do that, I can do whatever I want. Whatever I want, whatever I have to do, that's what I'll do. But they don't know that they're dragging themselves down into deeper and deeper into the darkness of repeated birth and death. So Daivi sampad vimokshaya and nimbantaya surimata. Mahashusha sampadam daivim abhijatosi pandava. But you don't worry. You have the divine qualities. Arjuna might have thought that I'm ready to kill my relatives. This must be demonic. Or I'm confused about what I should do. It must be that I'm some sort of demon. No. Mashucha, don't worry. Mashucha sampadam daivim. You have the divine qualities because you're considering, should I do this? Should I not do it? Is it right? Is it sinful? The demonic don't even care. I want it. I want it. I'm going to get it. By their schemes, by their plans, by their technological prowess, by their money, they'll get sense gratification and whatever they have to do. But a person like Arjuna is considering, they may have stolen our kingdom, they may have insulted our wife, they may have cheated us, they may have forced us into exile, they may have tried to kill us, but they're our brothers. Is it right? Should we? What will happen to their wives? What will happen to their children? So this is not Daivi Sampad. You have the Daivi Sampad. You don't have to worry. Dvau bhuta sarga lokesmin daiva asura evacha. In this world, there's always two kinds of people. Dvau bhuta, sargo in this material world, lokesmin. Dvau bhuta sarga lokesmin daiva asura evacha. Elsewhere it said, Vishnu Bhakta Smrita Daiva Asuras Tadviparya. The Vishnu Bhaktas, the devotees of the personality of Godhead, they're the Devas. And Asuras Tadviparya. And those who are the opposite, they're the demonic. Anyone who's against the government is an outlaw. So anyone who's against the personality of Godhead, he's by definition Asura. Sura Dusham, in the first canto, they're described as envious of the Suras. Sura Dusham. So, Daiva Vistarasha Prokta Asuram Partameshana. I've described at some length the divine qualities we were discussing yesterday. Asuram Partameshana. Now hear about the demonic qualities. Now that's Krishna's introduction. And then we'll hear a graphic description of the demonic qualities. Any questions so far?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful class. My question is not related to the class.
Well, hold on then. Because let's see if there's something related to the class first. Unrelated is unrelated.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, just mentioned Vishnu Bhakta as Deva. So any other demigod worshippers also would be considered as...
Yeah, that's also. Vishnu Bhakta Smrita Daiva Asuras Tadviparya. Just like Ravana, he can't say, no, I'm a great Bhakta, Shiv Bhakta. You may be a great Shiv Bhakta, but you're a demon. Similarly, so many, they're worshipping Durga, they're worshipping Shiva, they're thinking that they're great souls. But actually they're Paka materialists. They're worshipping Devi. Who's Devi? She's the personified material energy. In Shakespeare, there's one of the what is the words? I have demon in my head, so I can't. Villains. One of the villains in Shakespeare, the scene is there. Thou, nature art my goddess. Forget my, he's a bastard. His name is Edmund the Bastard, and he's a real bastard. And in the play, he comes, you get to see what his evil schemes. But in this scene, thou, nature, art my goddess. Not God. I'm not going to worship God. I'm going to worship nature. Nature is my goddess. The materialistic scientists who are going to be described coming, that's their goddess. Nature is supreme. God is not supreme. Nature is supreme. Everything comes from nature. So they worship the power of God, but not God. They think that power is everything. And they don't recognize that power comes from a powerful. So they're worshiping nature in the form of Durga. They think this is religion, but the dharma mitiya. And why are they worshipped? For getting material power, for getting material assets. They think it's religious. On Padayatra, we stayed with one man. He owned a movie theater and various enterprises, and he had a silver Ganesha. And his puja was, but his whole mentality was how to get money. So, of course, something is there. Tepi ma meva kantiya, at least they're worshipping Krishna, but avidi purvakam, in the wrong way. So they're counted also. And so many horrible things they do in the name of worshipping this goddess or that goddess. Then sacrificing goats, sacrificing buffaloes. There's a temple of Kamakshi in Assam, and I visited one time. They have a big guillotine there, and once a year they guillotine a buffalo to offer to the goddess. The rest of the time it's goats and other animals. And it's written, there's a tank there, and they had a sort of written on the wall of the tank, big letters, that Mother Kamakshi will satisfy all your desires. So that's their idea of religion, that I'll go to the Kamakshi Mandir and I'll sacrifice at least one goat or maybe 2 goats or 5 goats or a buffalo, and Kamakshi Devi will satisfy all my material desires. This is the demonic mentality. The demonic mentality. So that so many demons, Banasura, worshipping this or that demigod, Hiranyakashipu, that doesn't make them pious, because their goal is how to control and enjoy the material energy, not how to serve the personality of God. So they're counted as the demons. Maya pratyagana asura bhavamashata. Namam tuskritinam muta. Maya pratyagana asura bhavamashata. They take shelter of the demonic mentality. They think this is where the strength is. And sometimes, black magic, and worshipping, doing all sorts of rituals to get power. This demonic mentality. Is that okay? Yes.
Maharaj, the follow-up question. So by doing that kind of sacrifice, really Kamakshi is happy with that thing, because it is
She may or
heinous
may not
activity.
be happy, but after all, this is her business. You worship her, she gives you something. Even just like Brahma. So he had to satisfy Hiranyakashipu. He did all these things. Just like in politics, somebody becomes very powerful, and maybe you think the guy is something bad, and you don't want anything to do with him, but what can you do? You know, he's a big man, he's powerful, he wants this, and you need to get elected, or you need to so you have to satisfy this person that you know is a rogue. And in politics, that's always there. That we have to satisfy some rogue, we have to bribe some rascal, and we have to accept bribes from, these things are going on. So the demigods also, they have to give benedictions to this one or that one. They may not be very happy about it, but what can we do? He did these things, now we have to pacify him somehow. Yes.
Just to follow up on that, Maharaj, it's also mentioned that nature worshippers, it's also mentioned that nature worshippers are also worshipping the universal form of the Lord. Is that,
Yeah.
how do we understand?
Nature worshippers are maybe worshipping the universal form of the Lord. Of course, the mentality is different. Those who are actually looking for the personality of Godhead, for them, a beginning step, or who are looking for the truth. So a beginning step is to see God in nature. All right, they see God in nature. They're not yet advanced enough that they could understand the personality of Godhead, but they see some divinity in nature. But they have divine qualities. They're humble, they're free from anger and conceit. They're sincerely trying to understand higher truth. So, but they're just not very advanced. So they're beginning with nature, but from nature they can come to the next stage, what's behind nature. Therefore, nature is presented to them as the universal form of God. So that next from nature they'll come to God next. Something else? Okay. How far shall we go tonight? Shall we stop here? Last question, the unrelated question.
Maharaj, any tips for attentive chanting?
Carry on. Prabhupada told one devotee, just try to hear yourself chant sincerely. Just try to hear yourself chant sincerely. That's memorable instruction, I think. Yato nischalati manishchanchala. Go on chanting, go on chanting. I'm not a person to say too much about how to chant with attention, because I don't chant with enough attention. So. All right, shall we stop here? Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Maharaj, for wonderful classes, and thank you for giving your association all these 3 days, 4 days.
My good fortune, such nice devotees.
And we wish you come again and again and give more lectures and enlighten us with the spiritual knowledge.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.